Hey my nikicharmz, welcome back to my channel. I am Nikki of Balloon by nikicharmz. So today's video we are doing this awesome New Year's Eve backdrop. Showing you how to go from this to this. So if you want to see how I created this simple backdrop, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. Main thing you'll need is some metallic foil curtains. This can be done on the wall as I'm showing you, but you'll need a drape or curtain. But today I'm using this backdrop stand, which I created using knot lamps and some connectors. And all the materials in this video will be linked in the description box below. So once I have the stand up, you want to use some type of fabric, preferably black. I'm using these drapes, and you'll also need some safety pins. However, if you have curtains, you could just slide it onto the pole. So my stand was about 6 feet and my drapes are about 10, so I just doubled it and then I pinned it in the back to connect them so that it's steady and secure. Here's a close-up. I'm just pinning where it's needed, which is in the middle, the top, and around the poles. Now here's the star of the show, my metallic foil curtains, which is about 8 feet in length and 3 feet in width. I have 5 packs that I ordered from Amazon. It all comes in one, so you would need more or less, preferably more, because it will give a more full effect. Once they're out of the pack and unraveled, you want to lay them down and just basically stack them on top of each other. I'm just using the sticky part and just laying it on top of each other like layers. So these are the first two I'm laying out. See, it's very simple, and that's how you get the fullness. Moving on to the third pack, and we just repeat the same process. Okay, this is my last pack. Being that I only have 5 packs, I need the extra one for the other side. But if you have more packs, you can layer as much as you like. This is what it looks like with 4 packs. It's very full. To add it to the stand, you can actually use the back sticky part, but I want it more secure, so I'm using my safety pins. And I'm pinning it to the drapes. See, it's looking good already. And I'm untangling the fringes so that they lay flat. Okay, for our final pack, I'm just using the 1 pack. Being that it's a small area, we're just gonna double the fringe and hang it. So basically, I'm just leaving it folded. And you could add an extra pack if needed. And this is how it looks in the back. Very neat. One thing I would say, if I had thicker drapes, I would have added them rather than the sheer ones. But it still gets the job done. And for the bottom, you can either cut the fringes or just tuck them in like I do. I think it gives a more dramatic effect. Moving on, we're gonna add a few balloon clusters to our backdrop. I'm using some clear and silver balloons in 11, 5-inch, and 17-inch. So I'm taking about 6 balloons and I'm blowing them up, releasing some air. Then I'm crisscrossing and tying off the balloon, creating a dupe, which are 2 balloons. And I just repeat the same process until I have 3 pairs of dupes. Now that I have my 3 pairs, I can create my cluster, which I'm just intertwining the balloons together. And I decided to add an extra pair into this cluster since it's all 11-inch balloons. And I'm repeating the same process, blowing up the balloon, releasing some air to create the perfect circle, crisscrossing and tying it off until I have 3 to 4 pairs. This time I'm using 3 pairs, being that I'm adding a 17-inch into it. Once again, we intertwine these balloons to create another cluster, and you could stop right here if you just want 2 clusters on the sides, but I'm adding a few more just to make it a little more full. It would still look nice with just 2 clusters, but I'm extra. This air pump got me going with the wind. For my clear balloons, I'm forming small clusters of 4 balloons all together. Now time to add in some 5-inch balloons. I'm using my manual pump. You can use either electric or manual. I prefer the manual. With the manual pump, I pump about 2 to 3 pumps into the balloon. Then I release air to create the perfect circle, crisscross, and tie off the balloon. I repeated this process until I had 3 pairs. Then I form a mini cluster the same way how I did the bigger balloons. For these clusters, I'm adding them into the clear balloon by intertwining them. So I'm just repeating the process. So altogether I had 4 clear clusters and 2 silver clusters. Now if you want to be a little more extra, you can add some 5-inch mini garlands into your balloon clusters. I blew up about 10 pairs of 5-inch balloons. Now I'm taking the 260Q balloon, stretching it out and wrapping it around the first dupe. And I'm stacking the balloons on top of each other and wrapping the 260 around it. So you want to stack it on top of each other in different directions as the previous one. And you continue this until you're out of balloons. I made 2 separate garlands. FYI, don't skip this part. I'm using rubber bands and I'm taking them and wrapping them around the balloons so I can easily connect them to the backdrop. You want to do this for all your clusters, and I'm wrapping them around twice. This process definitely saves time. What's the sense of having a shiny backdrop if you don't go all out, right? So I decided to add these 24-inch metallic silver orbs into my backdrop. I'm using my manual pump to have control of the air going in to prevent it from popping, but it does take some labor. Your hands will get tired. If you see these lines, keep pumping. It still needs more air. You'll know it's full when you see more fine lines like these. I think that's good. Make sure not to overdo it and pop it. Now it's time to add these clusters to the backdrop. I am using a 260 and I'm wrapping it around the pole and tying it. Then I'm taking my cluster and adding it to the backdrop by just wrapping the 260 around the balloons. And I would suggest you move the fringes out the way because it kept getting stuck to the balloon. Now that the first cluster is connected, you can just add on the other clusters using the rubber band and place it to your liking. See, it's easy peasy. And to add my orb into the cluster, I'm taking a 260, rolling it on the neck and tying it off and adding a rubber band so it's easy to slide onto my cluster. And here I'm just styling and placing it in the spots that I like. Moving on to the other side, I am adding it to the top, so I'm connecting my 260 to the top of the stand. And per usual, a dance break. Who else is excited? And of course, for my final touches, my 5-inch mini garland. And we are ready. It's so pretty and shimmery, just perfect for New Year's. It's a very simple backdrop, but yet so elegant. Once again, this could be done on the wall or on the stand. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I want to say Happy New Year, and until next time, be blessed, guys.